So I want to start this episode off with a question you probably haven't heard in years. What do you want to be when you grow up? Before you answer that question, I don't want you to think about it from the point of view of you at this moment. I want you to think about the 5-year-old you. How would the 5-year-old you answer that question? You might say, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a police officer. I want to be an astronaut. Or if you like that video with the kindergartner that says, I want to be pregnant. I don't know. it's totally up to you. But once you answer that question, I want you to think about the present you. How did you do? Were you able to be what you wanted, all you wanted to be when you were that 5-year-old self? Are you that person that you could be proud of today? If you would made it, you made it. If not, you're not. We're going to keep moving. We'll keep moving. But now what I want you to do is ask that question to the present you. What do you want to be when you grow up? And you see that pause? You see that pause? That's the reason why I asked that question second. Because the first time when you said, what you want to be when you grow up when you were 5, that was an easy thing to answer. You were able to answer that quick. You remember that. I wanted to be a basketball player. I remember that quick. Now at this age, when you think about what you want to be when you grow up, probably the first thing you're thinking about is, I'm already grown. Where am I going? I'm already doing what I, am going to be when I grow up, which is the wrong answer. But I'm not going to get into that yet. I want to first introduce myself. My name is JelanAbrams, and this is the Unknown and Talented Podcast. And if this is the first time you're here, this is an interactive podcast, so I'm going to be asking you questions and different things throughout the way. So what I want you to do right now is, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment and say what you wanted to be when you were 5 years old. What was that dream that you had when you were 5 years old? And also leave a like to this video. So now get back in on that question. What do you want to be when you grow up at this adult age? The reason why I asked that is because most adults, lives are boring. Like, your life is boring. You pretty much live for Friday. You wake up Monday, upset. You got to go to work. Hate Monday. It's a long week. Can't wait till Friday. Friday comes. Now you have Saturday and Sunday to enjoy yourself, and you're back in that same routine every single week, which is really not a way to live. You want to make sure your life is exciting, because after high school, after college, after all of that, you're in the workforce for basically the rest of your life. And then some people don't even get a chance to retire. And if you do retire, you're 65 plus. And what kind of life is that? You're not going to be able to enjoy anything like that at 65 plus. You can't do anything that you were able to do in your youth. So I want to make sure I teach you how to enjoy life now and make sure your life is not a boring routine of living for Fridays, hating Mondays. So the ironic thing about where our life is, where we're getting this routine of hating our jobs but doing it every single Monday, I remember when I was in high school, everybody's excited to turn 14 and a half, because in North Carolina, when you turn 14 and a half, you can start working for Chick-fil-A. And that was the only place you could work. And everybody's so excited. Oh man, I'm about to turn 14 and a half. I'm about to apply for Chick-fil-A so you can start working, because we're so used to depending on our parents for everything. Now it's our chance to finally get some money so we can buy the stuff that we want to get. So thinking about that first job, the first time you're able to make your own money, I want y'all to think about that excitement you had when you finally had the opportunity to do so. So I remember for me, I signed up to be a summer camp counselor because I didn't want to do stuff during the week. It was already stressful enough to try to get good grades, try to play sports, and then you're thinking about doing a job after that. That's nearly impossible. It's kind of crazy. So I said I was going to be a summer camp counselor because you have so much time, doing stuff during the summer. So I just remember getting prepared for that, because basically the way it works, it was with the city of Raleigh. So they wanted to try to make as many young adults get job opportunities as possible. So they had like different dates. So they had different community centers. You pretty much sign up for it, and then gave you a time and everything to come to do your job interview. I remember when I went, it was at least 100 kids at that community center just waiting with their parents to try to get in this big, they had like a big gym where they have like different little sections. to be able to do your interview. And it was if you think about like voting, they had like different booths. That's kind of how they had it set up. It was in a big gym. You're in a booth. You give them your resume. Where I had nothing on my resume. It's like my resume probably said I had honor roll, played sports. It was like I don't even know what kind of resume they expect from somebody that never worked. That was kind of weird to me, but it is what it is. Actually, if I remember even looking online to find out how to do the resume, how to put your name on the top, your address, and your telephone number. And I'm like, I think the telephone number was probably my landline. I don't even know if I had a cell phone at that time. But it was just crazy. But and I also remember looking online how to actually do an interview because it's the first time we're getting interviewed by anybody. So I remember what they were saying is like when you first get into the interview room, you stand up. So you don't sit down. You pretty much wait for them to tell you, okay, it's okay to sit down. So this is what I'm thinking about going into the interview. So once I get there and then I gave them all my documentations and get in that little booth, the booth was a standing only booth. So that threw me off from the get go. I'm getting there ready to tell the wait for them to say it's okay to sit down, and I'm standing up the whole time, and I'm like, this is about to be a long interview. So it's just funny because I really don't even remember what they asked. I don't know any of the questions they asked, but whatever happened, I ended up getting a job, and I was just so excited to finally make my own money and do something that I can actually buy stuff that I want, buy the food that I want, buy the clothes that I want. Finally, get a cell phone. It was such a great experience, such a memorable experience because I was actually doing something for the first time. I was moving from being just a student to now an adult where I'm actually able to get money. So what I want y'all to think about now is when is the last time you've did something for the first time? When is the last time something that you've done changed the course of your life? And if that question is hard for you to answer, that just tells me right there that you're not looking for growth. You're extremely comfortable in your life, and that's a problem. If you're a Future fan, you know the song. Better not get too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable. Because once you're doing that is not you're stuck. And the problem is that life, everything around you is going to constantly change. Everything around you is constantly changing. Think about your job. They've probably changed the rules 5 times in the last 3 weeks about different policies in your job, and you're trying to stay the same in everything. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to expand to grow. You can't stay the same and expect to grow. The only time that happens is when you're going from a child to an adult. You're going to get taller because that's just how your body works. But other than that, you have to do things in your life when you're an adult, when you're no longer physically growing to actually change. And getting too comfortable is going to lead to complacency. And if you don't believe you're too comfortable or your complacency, I'm going to give you 3 different things to look into to show you that you might be too comfortable or not looking for growth. The first thing is your routine. And this one is basically self explanatory. Are you doing the same exact thing every single day? You waking up, getting ready for work, going to work, coming back home, putting on a game, putting on Netflix, sitting on social media, going to bed, doing the same thing. Is that your routine? Your routine is have you 5 days of work. Saturday I'm going out partying. Sunday I'm going to church, and that's it. I'm coming home, and that's my week. That means you're stuck in a routine. That means every single week is the same exact week. It's just different days. If that happens, that means you're too comfortable. You're complacent because you're not looking for anything to change. You're driving the same way to work, same way back home. You're going to the same Walmart, same Harris Teeter, same Publix, same Kroger. Coming back home, you're doing the same things. You're wearing the same 5 shirts. That's what I used to do. Work, I'll be wearing the same 3 shirts. I've got to go to work always 3 days. Same 3 shirts. Come back home. I park in the same exact parking spot and come home because I don't want nothing to change. I want to be, just go to work, come home, do what I want to do, and that's it. And the problem with that is life changes around you. So you're in your little comfortable zone trying to do everything the same, and life is changing, and now you're not able to adjust. I think about when I was a little kid, I used to love riding bikes. I used to ride a bike to the neighborhood across the street because it was really cool. It was a lot more kids over there, all my age, and I loved hanging out there. So riding your bike, you can't ride the same speed on a straightaway, going up the hill and going down the hill. You can't do the same thing. You're gonna have to change. When you ride a bike on a straightaway, you can just ride regular. When you're going down the hill, I usually don't move the pedals because I'm not trying to go fast on the hill. And when you're going up a hill, you're gonna have to put a little more effort into it to get up that hill. You're living your life, you're living in a straight line, constant, no changing. Next thing you know, a hill comes. That might be a problem at work. That might be, a problem at your house, a problem with your loved one. You can't attack that hill, attack that problem with the same mindset of I'm gonna stay the same, everything is gonna be fine. Because if you try to attack that hill with that same kind of mindset that I'm not changing for anything, you're gonna fall right down that hill. And that's what happens in life. The problem is that we wait for a hill or a problem to change instead of changing before then. Because now a problem comes, okay, now I got to change. But then, your regular life, I want it to stay the same. We can't do that. To be able to get to the next level, we're going to have to change because that might not be a problem. That might be also the next level. That might be the promotion you're looking for. When you want that promotion and we're just seeing you being regular, it's not going to happen. I know for me, my job, they want you to do all this extra work just to maybe get that next position, which is really, really crazy if you think about it. But that's the same thing. Is if you want more out of life, you're gonna have to do more because being regular, you ain't gonna get nowhere. And now when issues arise, you in big trouble. The second sign that shows that you are too comfortable or you're complacent is the fear of failure. Are you fearful to try things because you think you might fail? I recently just went to the dentist. And every time you go to the dentist, you know good and well you ain't floss. They gonna ask you, did you floss? How often do you floss? And every time I get there, I don't floss. Okay, well, make sure you floss because you got a lot of stuff stuck in between your teeth. So knowing this, knowing your teeth are not as clean as they're supposed to be, and you're about to go to the dentist, someone could say, you know what, I don't even want to go to the dentist because I know they're going to say the same thing. They're going to tell me to floss. They're going to tell me to brush morning and night. They're going to tell me to use mouthwash. And I know I'm not doing that, and I don't want to answer that. So you know what? I'm not even going to go to the dentist no more. Now your teeth are going to be ruined. Your teeth are going to be horrible because you need to get that extra clean every 6 months. But you're afraid to fail. You don't want to do that. And now your teeth are ruined. So yes, I know that example was nuts, but I just wanted y'all to visualize, the example of failure. You might not think you're good enough for that promotion. You might not think you're good enough for that girl or guy. You might not think that you have the enough money or you have the credit to get that house that you've been dreaming about. You're afraid to even go through the paperwork to do that. I remember us trying to get a house and I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous. I'm like, I don't even know if I make enough. I don't know what my credit looks like. I know I pay it off every single week, but I don't know what it looks like. I don't know. And now we're going to these people where they're gonna be running your credit. They're gonna ask you how much you make. Nobody wants. Who do you tell how much you make? Everybody's so scared. Oh, I don't want to tell you how much I make, how much I got in the bank account. And now you're gonna give this person all this information for them to come back and say, nah, you ain't. You don't have enough income for this house. Nah, your credit is not good enough for the house. And you're afraid to do that. So you say, you know what, I'm just gonna live in this apartment for the rest of my life because I don't want to face that because I know I don't have enough money. I know my credit's not good. And you're afraid to attack it, and now you're stuck in somewhere you don't want to be. That's not what you had on your vision board to be in that apartment. Your vision board was not to be single. Your vision board was not to have an empty bank account. Your vision board shows so much more things. Your vision board is going to show money. It's going to show love. It's going to show being spiritual, being in shape. All these things in your vision board that you have, but you're afraid to go after it because you feel like you're going to fail. Your mind is already set to failure, and that's why you're going to stay in that comfort zone, in that complacency, because you don't want to attack that. And the last sign that shows you're way too comfortable and you're way too complacent is your lack of motivation. It's actually what actually comes out of your mouth. When you have a conversation with your parents or your friends and you're speaking nothing but negativity. Oh man, we're gonna be in this position for the rest of our life. We're never gonna get a promotion. We're never gonna have no money. Or I'm broke. Oh man, I'm broke. I can't do this because I'm broke. All these things that are coming out of your mouth that are negative, that means you don't even have a thought in your mind or even in your subconscious that greater is coming. Because you might think it's a joke. Oh, nah, I'm broke. I ain't going out this weekend. You just put in your subconscious that I'm broke. That's it. It's not, I'm not going out this weekend. I'm broke. And they always say broke is not what you have in your bank account. Broke is your mindset. And if you have a mindset of I'm broke, that's going to be hard to change. So if you don't have money at this time, let's say, you know what, I'm not going to go out this week. I'll probably go out another week or something like that. You have to change your mind and change what comes out of your mouth, because what comes out of your mouth is very important. That's why they always have those affirmations where they have people saying I'm great, I'm rich, I'm healthy, all these things that you say out your mind, because now your subconscious doesn't know what's real. I don't know if y'all have seen the movie Inception. That's probably one of my favorite movies. And it's a movie about dreams. So they're actually they're trying to convince someone to do something or have a certain mindset about doing something. They can't convince them person to person. So they can't talk to you and say, I want you to do this. Or even this podcast, for example, I'm trying to motivate you to kind of get out being too comfortable. That doesn't work. So what they're doing is they're getting inside people's subconscious. They're putting them to sleep, and you're going to sleep, and now I'm going to be entering your dream. So now your dream, you can't control what's in your dream. Whatever's in your dream is in your dream. And now I'm affecting your dream, pretty much telling you stuff that I want you to hear. So now your subconscious mind is thinking what I want you to think. And now once you wake up from that dream, you're going to do these things or have that mindset of doing things because it's what your subconscious tells you. And that's the same thing in our life, that we can control what our life looks like. But if you're just speaking negativity, I'm broke, I don't deserve this, I'm ugly, I don't want, you're saying all these different things about yourself, your subconscious is going to start thinking of that. And you can be the most attractive person in the world, but you're telling yourself you're ugly. You ugly. Going back to my original question, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's a funny question because when we think about growing up, we're just thinking about being a child and then growing up to being an adult. And for most of us, we don't feel like we can grow more than that, which is false. We might not become any taller, but we can grow hair. As you see, my hair is not the same way it was the minute I became an adult. Well, I take that back. Some people can't grow hair. So if you can't grow hair, sorry. I'm flourishing over here, though. But most of us can still grow hair being an adult. Facial hair. Nails. We can grow nails. We can grow toenails. We can grow, what else can we grow? Some of y'all growing wider. we can still grow wide. We might be able to grow taller, but we can still grow wide. So you can still grow as an adult, but you got to know that it's not going to be always physical when you're growing. We can also grow spiritually. I've been spiritual my entire life. I always believed in God. I went to church every now and then. But this is the first time that I'm actually reading the Bible. And which is kind of funny. It's just really funny to think about the Bible, is that everybody knows the story of Adam and Eve. Everybody knows the story of Noah. But actually reading the Bible, it was just funny how fast those stories are in the Bible. It's like the first, I might be wrong because, like I said, I'm still new at this, but it's like the first 4 chapters, that's already Adam and Eve, that's already Noah, and then there's so much more stuff to Genesis. And I'm like, the only stories people know is Adam and Eve and Noah? And then of course we know Moses after that, but it's like it's so much more in here, and this is just Genesis. The Bible is huge. So it's just really funny that it's the only stories that are being told are the first couple pages. So it's like y'all just reading the first couple pages and y'all done. That's it. So yeah, there's definitely some growth a lot of us can do spiritually, and that's something that I'm learning right now in my adult age. But we also can grow intellectually. You can read books. You can learn different things. People are still getting their masters as adults. They're getting their doctorates as adults. All your college degrees happen when you're actually an adult. So you can still learn. You can still broaden your mind as an adult, which is also a version of growing. And we can also grow socially. The way I am now, socially, being able to talk to random people in public, start conversations, exchange numbers, and that's not who I was when I was younger. And this is Jelan being an adult. That's not who I was. I wasn't that person to randomly talk to somebody, randomly have conversations, talk about their personal life, talk about my personal life. That's not who I was. But I grew into this person, and I'm gonna continually grow. And that's why it's just the question is so funny. What do you want to be when you grow up? Because you never stop growing up. You always gonna be growing up. You're always gonna be growing up in some kind of way. Even being, thinking about being an elder, you're gonna get wrinkles. Your hair gonna turn gray. It's so many things that are gonna change about you. So the question is, what do you want to be when you grow up? Who knows? But I think what I really want y'all to know is that I don't want y'all to stop. I don't want you to think about being growing up and this is like just the one destination. Is what you want to be when you grow up. When that little girl said, I want to be pregnant, everybody laughed. It's like, what's wrong with that? You give these girls these dolls to play with, to be the mommy of the dolls. And then now when she goes around and says, when I grow up, I want to be pregnant, and you're like, man, that's kind of crazy. It's not crazy. It's not crazy because some women actually have problems now of actually becoming pregnant, and then when she's that little 5 year old, I want to be pregnant, they want to be pregnant now and they are a grown up. So society's just weird with that question of what do you want to be when you grow up. And I just really wanted to make sure I broke it down to let you know that you're not done growing up. You don't have to be in that comfort zone and not growing because you're always going to grow no matter how old you are. Now that you figured out that you are complacent, you are too comfortable. Don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. Now I want to explain to you how to break these habits, how to change that mindset so you can actually grow, in different areas of your life. The first one is going to be set new goals. Don't just have the vision board in the closet with dust on it. Have it somewhere where you can see every day you wake up. If you're a fan of agendas, write your goals down every single week. That Monday, right above that Monday, write that goal that you want to have. And really think about what you really want to accomplish. Don't just say, "Oh, I want to be a millionaire." That's an attainable goal, but if you don't have 10,000, that's, a little far fetched. But put that goal and put goals. Or actually, no, I'll take that back. You want to be a millionaire? Put actionable steps on what you're gonna do to be a millionaire. Because yeah, you could be a millionaire tomorrow if you really have actionable steps to be able to get there. I'm not gonna shoot nobody down. If that's your goal, also have your actionable steps on every goal you want to talk about. So, but this podcast is not about setting goals. I'm not going to break into that too much, but set new goals and make sure you have it somewhere visual so you can always see it. The second thing that you can do to get out of that too comfortable complacency mindset is change your routine. You got to change it up. If you going to work wearing the same stuff, change up what you're wearing. It makes you feel different. Get a new shirt, new pants, new shoes. Do something that can get into the lunchbox. Drive a different way to work. Change it up. If you're in a relationship, make it a little spicy. Make it a little spicy. Do something different. All those people talking about some role playing and stuff. Go ahead, try to role play. Put the uniforms on. Do all that stuff. You got to change it up. That's how you keep it exciting. I'm not saying that's what I do, but you got to do something to change it up because it can't be the same thing over and over again. And if you're tired of where you live, change your environment completely. Move somewhere else. You don't have to where you're living just because all your family's there. I think that's the mainly problem. You're too comfortable because you're like, man, I don't want to leave my family. You're gonna have to grow up. I don't care if you're 55. Move, grow up. You don't got to be around your kids. It's okay. I love my parents though, so I would rather them not move. They better stay. So if y'all, my parents listening to this, y'all better stay. Y'all better not move. But anybody else's parents, so go ahead, move, change your environment. You don't got to get complacent. Um, and yeah, just think differently. You don't have to be doing the same thing every single time. Like change it up. Third thing you can do is learn something new. There's so many different courses online. They got uh YouTube University. There's so many things you can learn, and that can change the trajectory of your life. Right now, I'm have a camera in front of me. I have a mic in front of me. I I was quiet when I was growing up. I was shy. I didn't even talk to anybody. This is not what y'all seeing right now. This is growth. This is the perfect example of growth. I have a podcast. This is probably what I'm thinking. This is like 17 minutes in, and if I'm right on it, I'm dope. But this is like 17 minutes into a podcast. Y'all listen to me talking, and this is not who I was when I was younger. I was quiet, I stayed to myself, didn't talk to people. I always had like a positive mindset, but I'm not gonna be preaching to nobody about it. And now here I am. And to get even deeper into that, I used to be a music producer. If y'all know, I was a music producer. I was all right. I was all right. People say I was nice. I would say I'm all right. I'm modest. But what got me into this camera, recording things, editing videos, I was making beats, just posting it. All you had to do was just post it on YouTube, put like a little picture, and then people were gonna listen to it. But then they had other producers that were actually recording themselves making the beat. And I'm like, man, I'm a little nervous. Like, I don't really want to do that. And I was like, I don't even know how to record it. I don't know how to edit videos. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. And I put a goal, like I told you, put a goal on my whiteboard, learn how to edit videos. I looked on YouTube. It was pretty simple. I don't remember what I downloaded some free video editing software. Got it on my computer. Record the video of me making the beat with my camera. I set it up. I didn't even have a tripod then. I just set it up my phone on some little box so it doesn't move. I recorded myself doing the video, and then I got into the editing software. Like I said, I looked at on YouTube to learn how to do it, and I started editing videos. And the first time I edited a video, I was like, okay, I probably could do this. And now that's all I do. If y'all follow me on Instagram, or TikTok, y'all follow me, y'all see all my videos. That oh, Jelan, you're such a great editor. Oh my, editing's always on point. That's not something I always did, but I wouldn't even be here in this position to be able to be talking to y'all if I didn't actually learn something new. Like, just learning something new made me be able to give this message to you that now you can actually go ahead and learn something new. You got to also realize that you were put on this earth to actually help people. You weren't put on this earth just to be in your own life. You'd be able to be, you have a purpose to actually affect other people. But if you're not able to fulfill your goals or to grow as a person, there's no way you can do that. So you definitely don't want to be in that too comfortable, I'm great where I am, because without me picking up that camera, learning how to edit and record that video, you wouldn't be listening to this episode right now. So I want you to find something new to do. It could be pretty much in the same field you're doing now, but learn something new. This is so easy. YouTube.com, the same way you found this video, the same way you can learn something new. And the last thing I would say is find a community. Find a community of like-minded people or people that you want to have the mindset like, so you can actually change that mindset. You know what I was talking about, having that negative mindset of thinking you're not good enough, thinking you're broke, you're ugly, or all these different terms that you say to yourself. Once you find that community of people, you're going to realize that everybody's in that same boat. They want to be able to change their minds, their life, to change their mindset, but actually being together and holding each other accountable can actually help you get to that next stage. And that's something I actually did myself as well. So me being a content creator, creating content for free advice, this video is free, you don't got to pay for it. I was like, man, I got to find a way to make some money. Like, it don't make no sense that I'm great at editing. I'm great at talking. I'm great at doing all these things. And I'm not making any money. Like everybody, oh, Jelan, you're so good at editing. You're so good at this. You're so good at that. And I'm like, I'm so good, but I'm not making no money from it. And I end up finding this video. This guy's name's Eli Vision. Super dope. Shout out to him. But he was just having a video on Instagram, and he said that you can make money without a following. Because I don't have a big following on Instagram right now. So he's like, yeah, you can make a lot of money without a following, just knowing how to record a video and promote these people's products. And I said, okay, all right, well, tell me more. And he had a community. Community is called Social Media Money. And I joined the community, and I was like, I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn. I end up the first month I made $800. In the first month of doing it, I made $800. And I said, wow, just finding a community, finding a mentor, somebody that's actually doing something different, and getting around those people that have that same mindset to keep you motivated, keep you engaged, and wanting to actually be more, made me $800 in my first month of doing it. And I was like, okay, this is something that I kind of was like shying away from, because I'm just so used to being by myself. I'm gonna figure this out. Being a music producer, mainly it was by myself. When I started my podcast with my friends, it was them, but now I'm back to having this solo podcast, also with my wife as well. But I'm just so used to being inside and being by myself. But the only way to grow is to go outside, find other people. They have their mindset, you have their mindset. 2 is better than 1, 3 is better than 1, 10 is better than 1. So finding that community of people changed. And right now, the sky's the limit. $800 in my first month. I don't know what's gonna happen next month or the month after that, but I know that I made $800 more than I made the entire last year of creating content. So I'm definitely excited to keep going. But that's just something you can do. Find community anywhere. They have Instagram. Y'all all on Instagram. Y'all all on TikTok. Y'all all on all these places. You just type in community, anything that you want. Somebody's gonna be there. They're gonna be charging something. You want your life to change, you're gonna have to put some money up. So that's something that I definitely think you should do. And other than that, that's pretty much it. I just want you to have that question in your head. What do you want to be when you grow up? Think about 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. What do you want your life to look like? You're going to continuously grow. Right now, if you don't have kids, you're going to get kids. Your kids are going to be growing. Once your kids are growing, you're going to be changing as well. And yeah, like and even if you try something for the first time and you fail at it, okay, so what? I want to shout out my aunt. She started a business, Z&A Creations. She sells earrings. We had a conversation, a pretty long conversation of, she wanted to be creative, and I just said, just do something. Find something you want to do. It was at least a good 30-minute conversation. And she ended up starting a business, earrings. She's designing everything, which is fire. And I'm like, yo, I'm proud of you. You are my aunt, of course. She's older than me, and she's still growing. Everybody's growing. Everybody's doing different things, and you need to do the same thing. It's because you're not too old. People that are 50 plus, 60 plus, starting YouTube channels for the first time, you're not too old to do anything. You don't have to be stuck in the position you are now. You can always change and grow. And I just hopefully this episode really inspired you to do so. Like I said as well, leave it in the comments. You might be able to find a community of people that are in the same position you are, don't know what to do, are stuck, or thinking they're comfortable, complacent. Find somebody that can actually do what you want to do. So what I want y'all to really think about is that question: what do I want to be when I grow up? And leave it in the comments. Leave it in the comments. So if you already left the comment of what you want to be when you was five years old, had that same question that I gave you, where you want to be now at whatever age you are. I'm 32. I'm gonna write in the comments what I want to be when I grow up. You do the same. But thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all getting this far. Make sure y'all like I said, leave a comment. If y'all listening, also leave a review. Yeah, that's it. You want to grow. Get out being complacent. Get out being too comfortable. Listen to the future. Don't get too comfortable. But that's about it. That's all I got. I appreciate y'all listening. Again, my name is JelanAbrams, unknown and talented. We'll see you next week.